We're almost at the 2 week mark of January 2025. How's it going? You know, they say that people, when a new year starts, we have all these goals and this new drive for this fresh start. And they say that people, the amount of people that sign up for the gym, online dating, something to do with like career or finances, you know, like whether it's investing or whatever it is. And there are so many more people that sign up for all these things just before the new year or going into the new year. Workouts seem to be a really big thing. And then within a very short amount of time, those people just either withdraw their membership, they just stop going to the gym, or they decide that online dating is not their thing and they don't want to date anymore and they just give up. And like within a very short amount of time, the new year, the goals that people set out just kind of fade away, and it's like they wait for another year to go by until they do it all over again. And it's not because people don't want these things. It's not because we don't want to get more fit, or we don't want to get out and meet people more and find that, you know, love of our life and all the things that motivate us to do these things. They are very true and very valid, and they're great motivators. Like, they're positive things, and we all deserve to get those things. So I believe that one of the biggest things that holds us back from this is that we don't identify with what, like, the qualities or the person that we have to be in order to get those things. So, for example, I could wake up, and this has happened to me and does happen to me sometimes, having already planned out that I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to work out in the morning and I'm going to be on this regular workout routine. And then that morning that I wake up, it doesn't happen, or it's really tough to make it happen, or it happens for a few days and then it dies off. Yeah, there are things like, you know, just getting into the habit of it, but the bigger aspect of it, what I think, is that I maybe don't identify with being an athletic person or a morning person or someone who finishes things. Like, sometimes some people have all these goals and stuff, but they don't believe that they have proven or shown or ever have completed anything or stuck to anything or committed to anything that they really want to do. So even with the dating site, like, it doesn't even have to be online dating. It's like maybe you've decided that you're going to go out to different places, different coffee shops, different meeting places where you can get to know more people and put yourself out there more. But if you don't identify as a social person, or if you don't identify as someone that sticks to commitment, or someone that believes in love or romance, or believes in relationship, that goal is going to dwindle very quickly. And this sense of identity, I've spoken about it before, is connected to like the personas that we have come to believe we are. but we are actually not the personas. Like a persona is something, a quality, a type of person that you have identified yourself with, and oftentimes think that that's who you are. But if I wake up in the morning and have all these goals of what I want to achieve, and I don't think that I'm an athletic person, I've never identified with that, then it's going to be very easy for me to shut down this goal that I have of getting up and working out. If I don't think that I'm a morning person, it's going to be hard for me to get up in the morning and do this. But it's not, the fascinating thing is that it's not that we are incapable of shifting those things. It's that we don't even know that we need to shift it. Like we think that that's just who we are, but actually, if I come to believe more that, wait a second, like, why do I think I'm not a morning person? Maybe I could be if I wanted to be. Like, maybe it's just a habit I need to get used to, but not just for the sake of the habit, but to also understand that I have the ability to make that change, not just in my outside life, like putting my alarm clock on and waking up in the morning, but actually my inner world can make the shift of saying, wait a second, I can be a morning person. I can be athletic. Like when I go out, I mean, I have, talked a lot about the weakness in my body and stuff. So if I'm walking and it looks unstable or whatever, maybe this is not the case. But just if I'm just doing like a everyday thing and people don't see me in an active setting, people comment that they feel like I must be very athletic or active. So if those people believe it, why can't I take their belief and transform myself, even if I didn't initially believe this? Like I could be thinking, oh, I fooled them, but actually it's not them that I fooled. I'm fooling myself because I've been telling myself, oh, I'm not athletic or I'm clumsy or I'm klutzy or whatever, but actually people on the outside, that's not what they see. And actually, it might not be the truth of who I am anyway. I've just created this idea in my head that I can't do those things. So shifting that belief is the key. And once you shift that belief, it's so much easier than to stick to the goal that you want. Because even with things like, I went to this vocal camp years ago in Europe, and I was surrounded by people that I thought very evidently were singers. Because the way they showed up, because of the way that they just took a chance and got up on stages and did the exercises that we were meant to do and presented themselves in front of other people and sang. And so I thought, well, I'm not a singer because most of my life I thought I could never sing. And when I saw my vocal coach, who, like, this is the crazy thing, right? I'm at a vocal camp all the way in Europe. And I have a vocal coach at this camp that's a personal vocal coach for me while I'm there. Yet I still don't think that I'm a singer or that I could sing. And she actually said to me, without knowing any of my story, just the way that I presented myself when I was singing and, going through these exercises, she's like, there's something that's going to hold you back really in a great way from your singing. And I thought, oh no, she's going to tell me like I really am tone deaf, or I don't know, something about my voice or whatever. Like whatever it is that I already believed, I was looking for validation of someone to confirm that I have this problem with my singing or whatever. But she actually said, your biggest hurdle in singing is going to be that, or not is going to be, but is at the moment, that you don't believe that you're a singer. And I was like, whoa, how did this person know this in such a short amount of time? But I was oozing, like, I am not a singer, I am not a singer. Like, it's like big flashing lights, because that's how I felt inside. So what was going to actually motivate me, not just to get up and practice singing every day, but to also do it to a degree that really fits what I truly desire inside, which was that I did want to sing, I did want to learn, I did want to improve. And I think that this is a huge part of what holds us back from our goals in the new year, every year, in each moment. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the year or the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, but especially at the beginning of the year, because we think that we are like, okay, we have a blank slate, we're going to start over, I'm going to do this, I have the motivation, I know how to do it, I know what I need to do. Like, you could even get to the point where you're planning out like every day what it is that that day is going to cover, but you still won't stick with it because you did not cover the inside world, that you are holding this belief that you are not that, whatever it is, singer, dancer, YouTuber, speaker, athlete, morning person, whatever it is, like, that you don't make a good romantic partner. Like, maybe you keep saying to people that I'm always the last to be chosen, or I never get chosen by someone, or people always pick other people rather than me. Like, if there was a lineup of people to pick from romantic partners, they prefer someone else. Like, if you go around saying that, even if you don't say it out loud, but your subconscious is saying that to you because of programming and a persona that you've built up, that you are always the one, or you are never the one, you are always the one that doesn't get chosen, or you are never the one that gets chosen. If you have any hang-ups like that, you're going to sabotage your own goal and desire. So the last few days, I've woken up saying, I am athletic. I don't need to go out and be winning medals to prove that to myself. I don't even have to be like in a stable, like completely, balanced, like quick, agile way of moving right now. But whatever for me athletic sits well with, like, whether it's getting up every day and focusing on my fitness, or whether it's working on a specific aspect of myself, like doing like really targeted practice on building the strength of my legs, or even if it's singing, it's like, if you're singing or writing or drawing or teaching or making videos every day or every week, you can flip your mindset that says you are not someone that can make videos, or you are not someone that can prioritize exercise, or you are not someone that can draw, to wait a second, but I write, I draw, I exercise, I sing, I show up on video, on camera, publicly, regularly. So what is it that I think makes me not a singer, athlete, public speaker, like whatever it is, shift what you think entails that persona, that identity. Shift your identity. Because if you realize that actually maybe someone who writes every day, even if they are not a well-known author or they are not earning millions for it, are still, that person can still be considered a writer, then you might be able to say to yourself, wait a second, what is it that I do or I can do regularly, consistently, to change this subconscious programming in my head that I am not this identity? Because we can start changing what we identify with. And the crazy thing is that most of the time, when you change your identity, those things that you used to think make you that kind of person, like that you win races or that you write bestsellers or that you get gigs for shows, for your music or whatever, those things actually happen without you even trying. Well, because what you're trying and what you're doing is you're making it a ingrained practice. And you can no longer show, like when you have an ingrained practice of doing athletic things or writing or public speaking, you can no longer say, I am not that person, because you are only thinking about your past belief about yourself. You are forgetting that now the situation is different. Now you are doing those things. And now there's much more opening and expansion for you to become that new identity that you wanted to identify with in the first place. And then New Year's resolutions, goals, even if, like I said, even if it's not for the new year, anytime in the year or whatever your situation is, anytime that season or that day or even that hour or minute, you can completely shift your identity and how you show up and what your goals are and how quickly and easily you achieve them and stick to them once you understand that it comes from what you believe about who you are inside. So think about if there's something that you've wanted to achieve this year that you're kind of on the fence about, or you're not sticking to consistently, or you haven't started but you wanted to do, or you started and you're already feeling like, oh my God, I feel like I have to give this up because I can't do it. Think about why you might be feeling that way in terms of your identity. Are you identifying with an old version of you, with a past conditioning of who you thought you were or who you thought other people saw you as, instead of allowing yourself to become who you really are, which is anything that you want to be? Let me know your thoughts on this, if you've had any experience going through this, if you're experiencing this right now, what your goals are, what you think your personas are that you've been living in the past or now, and what kind of identities, like what do you want to identify as now, going forward, presently and going forward, because that will make a huge shift in just you admitting it. So thanks all for listening, and I will talk to you all soon.